I'm like, God, how? I cried though. I cried. I cried. I cried. Ah, hello, guys. Hello, 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 hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. The Pinky Doctor here. As always, this is your first time here. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you are blessed by this video. If you are, please subscribe to the channel, okay? We'll be so glad to have you here. And to all my subscribers, people are very romantic, or very, very, very sweet people. I didn't know. Thank you guys so much for the love. I'm so grateful. So, guys, today we're going to do part 2 of our testimony. Please, before we start, pardon my voice. So, I was singing, singing, singing. I don't know how the voice they can lose, but God is good. Please pardon my voice. I hope I'm as audible as I can be. And I'm also sorry for the last video. I think I was too emotional. So this time I'm just going to try not to be emotional, but sometimes when God does something, you're just in awe, and then I don't know, just makes you in that space, if you get what I mean. So we're gonna be doing part 2 of our testimony video. Ah, guys, but this God is wonderful. And I was just thinking today, and I'm like, how is it that God just knew all this? Because when I was going to Nigeria, I don't see myself returning back to Ukraine. Like, never, like I just felt like that was it. But He knew. Hmm? That vision. He knew what was going to happen. Let me give you guys the rest of the gist. And first, I'm just going to say that if you're in the waiting season right now, just enjoy it. It's very difficult, I promise. It's so confusing, a lot of uncertainties. Like, you're like, why do I have to experience all this? But I promise you, in the end, you'd understand why. Okay? You understand? So, from the last video, I just want to give like some context. Okay. First thing I forgot to mention was that the dream, if you looked at the vision, you see where I wrote it was a US visa. Now I didn't know what visa it was, but I wrote that because I had an idol in my heart, so that was the idol, so I just wrote it. It was USA. God did not tell me that one. Okay, the dream was just that in the same place I was rejected, I'll be accepted. And the only place I had applied for anything prior to that time was the UK. Okay, that's number one. Number two is that I actually got like multiple rejections, right? And that was why I said to leave Nigeria, because I knew that I had to leave Nigeria because I couldn't practice. I was not allowed to write the medical licensing exam. Okay. So Nigeria was not an option for me. The reason why I applied for a Schengen visa was because remember I booked a ticket earlier to go to Portugal with the permit I had. But out of fear of what I was hearing, I cancelled it. So I was like, okay, I'll use this Schengen visa to get there and then use my permit to, route back to Ukraine. I forgot to mention. So before the war happened, I had a US interview for June. Just imagine. I actually totally forgot when I was fleeing the war. I forgot I had any interview. So I now transferred the application to Nigeria. That's how it was even a thing. Yeah, you get me. Okay, so today we stopped at where I was stranded in Portugal when I had landed. This hormone adrenaline does a lot of things. How did I leave? I did not even think of where I was going to stay. I just knew that I had to leave. But looking back now, I know that it was God that prompted that in my heart, and He had already made provisions. So, yes, so I had given out my voucher, so there's no money to even book a place to stay. So, my cousin, yeah, like he had plans to, you know, he had plans of where to stay. So the person he was waiting for um was supposed to come to the airport to pick him. So when we arrived, he had to wait because the person was coming to the airport. Okay, so me, I had to go to the hostel that at least I had booked for a night. So I left him and I went to the hostel. So towards evening, he was like, "Oh, the person had not come yet." Okay, so I had to go like pick him and show him like where I was, and so that both of us can be, in a place at least lodge him in and things like that. So I went, picked him, we came back, and we there. So the next morning, the person who was supposed to pick him was now going to come. So me now, I don't have any plans of where to stay. So the only plan was to renew my stay and then make plans to go to Hungary and stay with my friend or something like that. Lo and behold, though, she didn't come till like 12 noon. So at the time that she came, oh yeah, I forgot to mention. In this place that I was staying, I met these ladies that they were talking about doing this Canada emergency travel thing at the time. So they're like, oh, it's nice to just try and apply and things. So I said, okay. I now went to the embassy, Canadian embassy, to get like the application form. So I came back. My cousin was still there. I said, okay, now so I told him about it and things like that. So lo and behold, 2 hours from there, the woman now came and she was like, I know that she can't leave me. Oh. She carried both of us. We went. Imagine. just from nowhere, she was like, oh, no, 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 let's go together. Guys, we now went. See, this car was clean. Ah, this I know she might not watch this video, but I'm so grateful. This car was clean. Presidential treatment. We went to, the city, and then she was like, that this is where her house is, but she doesn't stay here. She works in that city, that she's so sorry, she'll not really be around, but we should just make ourselves comfortable. Guys, this house I'm telling you, when I entered inside, I was in shock. It was a duplex with how many bedrooms? Three or four, I don't really remember. A huge parlor. If I have pictures on it, but I don't think I really took pictures like that. Like I didn't take a video of the house, but I think I did like a few pictures in it. So if it's really portraying what I'm seeing, I'll insert it. Guys, now this is where God blew my mind. In the house there was a mango tree. Mango is my favorite fruit. So that was the first point of comfort. I was like, wow. There was milk. So I love to take milk because it helps me maintain my weight. Okay, I think I'll do a video about weight loss and how to maintain your weight. If you like to see the video, just let me know in the comment section. But yeah, I like to take, quite a lot of protein. Guys, this woman likes to buy milk, eggs, everything was in the house. In fact, she wants to go shopping that day. She's like, oh, you like to eat and things like that. This woman prepared a table before us. See, I'm not joking. The table was large, like a buffet. She made food for us to eat. I was so comfortable. That was where I watched the the World Cup. So comfortable. I followed it day and night because why not? Woo! My God! It was a big TV. Everything was there. It was so comfortable. So remember the Canada thing. So after a month of staying there, I now had to go for the biometrics, right? So I went. Guess where I went to? France. He had only two places you could do it, which was France and Spain. I went to that France that they denied me visa. Guys, see, God has a very funny sense of humor because obviously with the Portugal permit, I could go to EU or Schengen region without a visa. But I'm like, why France? I went. The same France that rejected me. I went. So, in fact, that was enough confirmation of the. But yeah, God's word never fails. I went to France and then I came back. So during this Portugal time too, remember the Barbados thing that I applied since May of that 2022. They did not give me visa. It's not that time they were not telling me that oh my birth certificate was laminated. I have to explain why and I have to send the document, I have to notarize it. Submitted it. We're still waiting. Now we got to December, these people had not still told me anything. 6 months of application when it was normally supposed to take 90 days. So I've done times two of 90 days. I was so worried. And remember, I was still I was still indecisive about what to do. So that was I think around Christmas. My mom was now like she was very anxious, like if they don't get back to us by 27th of December, I will just cancel it, ask for refund. So I wrote an email, stating this to them. Lo and behold, visa now came from nowhere. Now, as much as the visa came, I was quite, still confused. I was like, there was just something about it, right? And it was fear. And now I didn't know if the fear was because, okay, after I've not done anything in a while and I'm now going to start doing something. So it was just, you know, somehow for me, or it was actually the fact that God didn't want me to do that, okay? But I remember also God was silent. So now fast forward to that December period to around Christmas, we had to leave the place. No, we had been there for about 3 months. Now in this 3 months, guys, imagine someone that has done so much to accommodate you. She didn't stop there. She made sure every documentation we needed to do, she'll take us there as much as she can. She'll buy us groceries, like we were well taken care of. Anyways, let me just go straight to the point, okay? So we had to leave there, for some reason. So went to Hungary, stayed there for it's like my friend there for about a month. Now in this month, um 1st of January, we're in Hungary. I think we left Portugal around I don't know, 26th of December or something like that. But crossover night, I went to church and I remember crying and just telling God that please this year I want it different. I don't want any of these confusions. I just want settlement. Lo and behold, after the crossover, we broke into first, right? I got a call from my pastor friend, and this call was just mind blowing. And he was like, okay, that he was praying and he got this revelation that later in the year there'll be this woman that is supposed to, she has something to do with my application and she'll just be sitting on it. So, he told me what to do. I did it, and that passed. So after 5 days, I had booked my ticket to Barbados, and I was still feeling this way about it. And I asked my friend, it's like, I doesn't know that he doesn't really feel okay about it because this was actually going to be capital intensive as well. Okay. If you know about the Caribbean schools, you know. So I was just like, is this worth it? Plus, I love to know that God is saying this and go with it. And I had not heard anything. So I'm like, okay, what if at the end of the day I now find out that okay, it's not this route and I've already spent so much. So long and short, this my pastor friend again called me and he was like, I was talking to him about my concerns and things like that, and he was like, what he knows is that I should pursue the UK. That that's what his spirit is telling him, and he gave like confirmations about it and things like that. That's Barbados. His spirit does not agree with it. Okay. Now, I was like, okay. Now, I think something happened, and I also got a confirmation about this country. I don't even remember how, but one thing I did was to tell God, to tell my mom, to confirm it to her as well, because she didn't feel like that was it. She felt like it was US, right? So that happened. So, but that gave me confirmation that I should let go of the Barbados. So I had to let go of it. Plus, other issues with transit visa and things came up, so I just let go of it. So one out of the way, right? Now Some days after, somebody was just coming to Hungary, like the same place I was staying, and she was going to Ukraine. I was like, ah, yeah, I'd even forgotten that I was supposed to go to Ukraine. I gotta get my things. She was now coming, and I was like, ah, why don't follow her? You know. But I was also thinking, I'm like, hey, God, the fear of everything, when you're guilty, I really feel like you're guilty, but there was nothing wrong I was doing. There was martial law, it was legal, but it's just the fear that, okay, I know I was done, there was need of going and things like that. But I mean, that's my documents. That's someone courage. I said, okay, since somebody's going, let's go together. Then, guys, that's how we went together. I was even scared. I was like, okay, maybe they'll give me a written note since I had graduated, how many days to go. And nothing like that, though. The same thing they did for her because she was still schooling. The same thing they did for me. No question, nothing. Just anything. Isn't God wonderful? So I go into Ukraine, got my things. I was able to help people to pack their things. And yeah, so I was done there. I got my diploma. So I left, right? Okay, while I was also in Ukraine, I remember the Queen Mary University thing. I had to still do IELTS. So I discovered that I could do the IELTS online, so I applied for it in Ukraine. Thankfully, that was the only place that I could actually do it online from. So I did it there because of the war, right? So I registered for the online, and then that was when I now came out of Ukraine. Now, when I was in Ukraine, I had the opportunity to extend my stay, like redo a program or something like that, which I could do online. Or something happened and I just did not do it and I left. That would have been easy way. I'll not have to stress about permit or anything, but not sure to it. I left. So I got an invitation. I was going to do like a visa maybe from Hungary to come back inside and then extend it. So that was I just had the invitation, right? I didn't do anything about this. So I went back to Hungary and then the place I was staying, it expired, so I had to leave. I had to go rent my own place. And when I went to rent this place, now there was a rule that I had to pay deposit and things. When this man saw me, this man was like, oh no, 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 I should not do that. I should just pay, the normal every month and things like that. Imagine. Who does that apart from the fact that God has gone ahead of you? I did not pay this man deposit. Normally, all the people that were in the house with me paid, I think, 2 months or something. I didn't pay deposit. He let me stay because I told him I'm from Ukraine and things. How is it done? That's even more reason why you should pay, because what if you just leave and run away or rest or something like that? So I didn't pay. So I stayed there. So while I was in Hungary, I had to, because I'm doing a prophecy, I had to work on the, Queen Mary admission and things. So the time for my IELTS came. I read my IELTS. I did not still get the cutoff, but when I was in church that day, I told God that please let them just give me this thing. If it's really you directing me to, the UK, let them just accept it. Lo and behold, they did. So I applied for it. They gave me the unconditional offer. I was excited. I said, "You guys, I'm going to Russell Group schools." Per. So the thing about me is, once God says a thing, I fall in love with it. I get excited about it. Even if before I was not excited about it, I automatically get excited about it because I know that His word has gone ahead and I'm going to, be fine there. Okay, it's better than doing my own plans and I'm not sure. If anything happens, there's nowhere to run to. All the bus goes out tickets. So I got excited about it, and yeah, that happened. So that was confirmation. So I was just there some days and I just felt in my spirit to check a particular course that also applied to Queen Mary for, but they didn't give me. It was a clinical course, but they didn't give me for, some reason I was not qualified. I needed internship and things like that. So I just felt a strong nudge to check. And I went online and I saw the course in another school. And they had quite, strict requirements, but I think they also needed 2-1, yeah, and my CGPA was quite good, so I applied to it, to the glory of God. So I got it, right? So I was like, ah, God, is it this one I should do or is the public health? And he said, no, I should go for this one. So I pursued it because funny enough, it's a course I'm interested in. And it's clinical, so it'll mean that it's easier, to assimilate and things like that. And I don't like all the statistics things. So imagine if I had gone that 2022. I probably would have been struggling with the public health course, but this was like a much simpler course for me because I had passion for it as well. So I applied for the course, I got a conditional offer, and then we had to do an interview and had to prepare presentation and things like that. Yeah, we had the interview, and guys, I was so unprepared. The only thing I prepared for was presentation. Presentation is quite easy for me to do. So I made a presentation on something I enjoyed that I knew I could talk about. Okay, they even give me a topic. Yeah, and it was something that I actually found interesting about congenital heart diseases. So I did it, and yeah, it was good. Interview went well, and lo and behold, that day, I think about 3 hours later, they sent me an unconditional offer just like that. See, God is good. When God has said something, His backing is on it. Hmm? No matter how much the enemy tries, He will make it come to pass because he values His word above His name. So He will do everything in His power to maintain His integrity. That's how I got you know, the admission. Now, so I got the admission, so it was to pay deposit, right? But in the meantime, remember I also applied for masters to the US. So I had to let go of that one because I already had direction. So I let go of it. But then I was like, why not just do like a visa still and just have it? Like there's no harm in having both, right? That's what I was telling myself. Hmm? Forgetting that God in heaven knows me more than myself. Me. I don't even know if I had gotten that US visa again. I don't know whether I was still pursuing UK or sha. As I told God, oh, that let me just have Jara. So I went, I was like, okay, it's easier from the EU. So I had to go back to Portugal to apply because that's when my permit, my residence permit was, right? So that's the only place you can make such applications. So I went back. Now, this interview was very interesting. There were two consulars, right? The first one approved my application, the second one did not approve my application, telling me that it was the same thing as Lagos. I'm like, how is it the same thing, sir? First of all, I'm not even in Lagos, I'm in Portugal. Second of all, it's not even the same circumstances, but no wahala. But that showed me that God was trying to tell me that, my dear, it's not hard to give you this. Do you get? It's not hard to give you, but I want you to just follow my lead, follow my instructions. So I carry myself another allow and mobile denial. I sure did not get it. I went back to Hungary and it was time to pay my deposit. So I was happy now. I told my mom, to my dad about it. Funny enough, my dad was from nowhere, he was so enthusiastic. Like, yes, thank God. So yeah, he was not like, don't worry that he's going to send me the money by next week for my fees and things that he has some um like he has to make some sales on the farm that was going to give him like quite an amount of money. I was excited. I was like, hey, God is wonderful. Oh, just like that, though, my fees will be paid. So now, fast forward to the week I was supposed to get the money. We now learned that, um, you know, um, somebody just came and harvested a huge amount of fish from the farm. This amount of fish was going to pay my fees and there'll even be change. No jokes, like it was a huge amount. You can calculate it. UK fees, UK school fees is not cheap at all. Okay, so you can just have an estimate of, how much it was. I felt devastated, right? But I was more concerned about my dad because that's why they lost. So I called him. I was like, Daddy, how are you feeling? And things like that. He was like, oh, he's fine. I said, okay. Would you, make some police report and things? And no. I was like, why? He said, let it go. God will fight for him. Basically, his point was that let God be the judge. I was like, okay, no, I like we're taking it like this, fine. Guys, next week, I got a call. My father is sick. It's not baby sickness, oh, it's serious. I was just like, in my life, I'll not even think that this kind of thing will happen. You get like my dad was anyways, so I was so sad. I was I think my mind just left the school and everything to this point. I'm like, God, how? I cried though. I cried. I crowed. I crowed. Ah, it was a lot. I had to talk to someone. I talked to my pastor at that time in Hungary. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And my music director, they're supportive. It was really a hard time for me. I was just like, come on, she's not to just leave this admission and things like that. But I remembered that God had said, okay, and I was more interested in what God had, and I knew that if it was Him, He would sort it out. And I also knew that it would even take more, like, it would take a toll on my dad if he knows that I'm not even still settled. So I had to also think about the bigger picture, and I believed God for His healing. So, my fees were not paid. So I remember, a Sunday I went to church. I took this note. I made a note of all the money that it would cost to, process this admission, and I just took it to church. Lo and behold, when I got to church, my pastor was like, "We should lift up a request." See how God works. So that was like confirmation for me that I should pursue it. Okay, so I lifted up the request, and I was like, "God, please." At this point, I don't have any other place to look up to for this money. This is huge. I don't know, like, it's bigger than me, it's bigger than my parents. Like, just take care of it. And I went home. That week was Easter too, and we had this program, Soul on Friday, by Bishop Dag Heward. So I couldn't go that Friday because I was really down. I was really like the whole my dad's thing was getting to me. So, but I streamed it online, and I remember I just got teased. It's been a while I heard good news. It's just been buzz buzz from one thing to another. Like, I was just tired. I was like, God, please, I just need good news, please. So I slept, and when I woke up, I sent a message to my mom. She was like, guess what? So, and I said, what? She now called me. I was like, Mommy, what? Now, is daddy better now? She said, no. And she was now like, somebody gave me money for your deposit. Guys, I'm not joking. Somebody gave me money for my deposit. It's not small. Obviously, like you can, if you know, like you can, like their deposit things, that it's not small money. Okay, this money that this person gave could pay my school fees in Ukraine. That was how much. It even exceeded the amount of the deposit. Guys, who gives you that kind of money in this economy with this inflation, with this recession? I said, God, God, just help me. Just help me to trust you. You would always keep your word. You would always, I'm just remembering the song by Naomi Rain. You would always keep your word. That's what you do. That's what you do. Ah, God. I was like, so paid for my deposits. And also, of course, that was like a confirmation. Okay. Now, in the meantime, I made other applications to other courses, that I know I would need to come in handy, since I had the opportunity, or like last year that I was just doing Japa plans. So, at the time, before I paid, I had to be sure of which one, because I had another admission from University of Aberdeen to do data science. Really, that's actually what I wanted to do. Okay. But I mean, God's rule reigns supreme. As you got a confirmation of what you do, so I had to follow. It was not Aberdeen. Okay. So all my Russell Group schools, top-notch schools, they're all out of the plan. So I went for what, the one God wanted me to. So I paid the deposits. And mind you, this Aberdeen, they gave scholarship. Oh, they gave £5,000 scholarship. But God did not say that one. No, Allah, we pursued that one that God said. So yeah, this was, we had paid the deposit, and I didn't get the year's visa. So it was just very clear, because the dream did not say, in the same place you are rejected twice. The dream said in the same place you are rejected. Ah, okay, good. So now it was only, it was very obvious. So you see what it took, like the whole time, just to get to a point of clarity. But clarity eventually came. Okay. So, and funny enough, this school, like the IELTS score I had was perfect for it. Everything was just perfect for it. So we had paid deposit, right? But then deposit is not school fees now, it's part of the school fees. So we had a huge sum remaining. How? Where the money come from? But God's vision, God's responsibility, God's vision, God's sponsorship, right? It's not my plan, so God has to provide. Okay. So in the next one, gonna find out how, you know, God made provision, you know, and the battles that came along the way, as regards my um, confirmation of acceptance of studies letter, and yeah, how the visa thing happened. Okay, but before then, there was also something tricky that happened that had to remind me that the dream I saw Casa, and that meant that I had to be in Ukraine, and how I eventually, how God led me to go back to Ukraine. See, this God there, master planner, even without mistakes, even the things that we feel like, okay, we shouldn't have done, but we did, God uses it for His glory. Okay, we're gonna find out how my fees, what happened, did I pay, did I not pay, did I opt out of the plan, how did I eventually, um, yeah, and the battle, we had to face with my cars and everything, and yeah, we'll find out in the next video. So then, see you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying this testimony. If you are, please write in the comment section. Okay, let me know like what part got to you the most, and just share. I want to be blessed as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are amazing, and I appreciate the love. See you in part 3. Bye.